Ready, Dan?
I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. Dan Bates, President and CEO, Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and we are thrilled that you could join us here this morning for coffee and conversation. We're doing something a little bit differently this morning, so it's going to be about the chamber and how the chamber can benefit you. So this is really um, a dialogue. So we're hoping that you will all chime in. We are joined this morning by our incoming board chair, Eddie Larkin from Rose Automotive. And I think he's going to learn some things this morning too. So this is really from a member's perspective. So Ed's going to be leading the conversation, and we hope you all will chime in. We are on a Zoom meeting. If you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt us and the speaker to ask those questions. If you're on Facebook Live, type those questions in and we'll get them answered for you. So when this is over, it will be on our YouTube channel. So if you want to refer to it later or share it with someone else, you can do that as well. So you know who I am. We're going to very quickly find out who all of you are. And I think, Tiffany, you're going to do self-introductions, correct?
Correct. Do you want me to do that now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go by my screen and I'm going to use the name that is listed on your profile. So we are going to start with Tim,
Hi, I'm Tim Nab, Hamilton City Council.
Rose,
Rose Hurley, self.
Captain Ailman,
Captain Melvin Elman, the Salvation Army Hamilton.
Patrick Wright,
I'm Patrick Wasurfro.
Robert Roth,
Hello, I'm Robert Roth, Robert Roth Photography.
John Rhodes.
Good morning, I'm John with Rhodes Life Coaching.
We have a couple Patricias, but Patricia with the white door in the background.
I'm Patricia Nance, Nance, and I'm with Fieldworthy Photography.
Okay. Brian,
Pendergast from Baden High School.
Laurie,
Santel with Stay Play Made Simple.
Terry Purdue,
Good morning, Terry Purdue with Shared Harvest Food Bank.
Sydney,
Yes, Sydney Tasky with Edward Jones Investments.
Patricia, the other Patricia.
It's actually supposed to say Monica, but it's Monica and Sammy at Hot Works in Westchester. Not sure who Patricia is, but
Christy Wesselman.
I'm Christy Wesselman from Listening Heart.
Luann.
Luann Weismiller from Panera Bread.
Great. Jeff Archibald.
Hi, everybody. Jeff Archibald with the Hamilton Vision Commission.
Keisha.
Hi, I'm Keisha with Blown to Perfection Balloon Decor.
Great. Jim.
I'm Jim Weibel with LD Images Photography.
Deanna.
Deanna Cosina with ADG Painting Services.
Cindy.
Hi, good morning, everybody. It's Cindy Keitel with Keitel Business Coaching.
All right. It says I have another screen here. Let me see who I'm. Hold on. All right. Mike Lockhart.
Lockhart with Primerica Financial Services.
All right. Matt Loeffler.
Yeah, good morning. Matt Loeffler, Butler County Engineer's Office and the Greater Hamilton Safety Council.
Great. Bobby Manelli.
Hey, everybody. Bobby Manelli with Household Books.
Great. M. Bookout. Hi, I'm Melissa Bookout with Buck and Bee. Darla. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Darla Kirchner with Kirchner Marketing.
Great. I think the icon is Yvonne.
Yvonne Van Bibber, Blue Kangaroo Packout.
All right. Jordan Seals.
Yeah, Jordan Seals with Cornerstone Caregiving.
Elle Sizemore.
Yes, hi, Lisa Sizemore with Bachman's HVAC Solutions.
Okay. Felix. Felix. Okay. Let's see, Lori Sharp Page.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just getting set up.
Yeah, if you just want to say who you're with.
Hi, I'm with Sprouting Change. We are a company that builds emotional capacity for teams and leaders.
Okay. Kathy Broussard.
Hi, I'm Kathy with the local boutique and social house. And sorry, no video, but I'm going to be like running to another meeting and running around. So
You're good. You're good.
Thanks.
Lori Fierro. You want to introduce yourself? Hi, and who are you with?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What company are you with?
I'm with Bizna and we're located, I don't know what else you want to know. I'm Lori Fierro.
Okay. Sandy?
Good morning, Sandy Kusnop with Frank's Glass.
Right. Let's see. Did I miss anyone? If I didn't call on you and you're on here, just unmute and introduce yourself. I think I got everybody though.
Felix is having microphone issues. So Felix, if you just want to put who you represent in the chat, we'll all look at it.
Awesome. I think that's everyone.
Okay, Ed, are you ready to get started?
I am, Dan. Thank you. Morning, everyone, and great to have such a big crowd. My name is Ed Larkin, and like Dan said, I'm with Rose Automotive in Hamilton, and also Larkin Cobb Chevy GMC in Eaton, Ohio, and Larkin Greenwood Ford in Connorsville, Indiana. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations. And the key on that, well, if you don't like coffee, I'm a water drinker, so whatever drink you'd like is fine. But the key is conversation, and that's really what this is meant to be about, is information gathering and giving to everyone out there. And I was excited to see such a huge mix. A lot of you I know, some of you I don't. And that's even better. The biggest thing is let's make this a conversation, and we're going to ask Dan, and we're going to ask Laura and Nancy and Tiffany and Jeff and Jason. We're going to ask them all kinds of things about the chamber to give information, because Dan had asked me to give a little bit of my background with the chamber. I think I joined, we were members of the chamber, but I really got active probably in the mid 90s when I was in my mid 20s, wanting to really form a networking group and try and increase sales and service in our business. And it did that. And, it served its purpose. But over the next 35 years, whatever it's been, I've learned so much more, and there is so much more that the chamber does and you as a member can get from the chamber. But like anything else, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And it isn't just going to happen. You have to get involved, whether it's, some people join for the benefits of the chamber, which we'll go through. Some are workers' comp, some are health, some are marketing. A lot of them are networking, but you have to get involved. And I promise you, you will get so much more out of the chamber if you really dive in and get involved. I've been fortunate enough to be involved with several other chambers, like the Westchester Chamber, been involved in the Preble County Chamber of Commerce up in Preble County, Eaton, Ohio, and also the Connorsville, Fayette County Chamber of Commerce over in Indiana. And the biggest thing is all of them have their benefits, and I believe in being a member of the chamber in the community to get involved in the community. But really, I get the most out of Hamilton just because I put the most into Hamilton. And I've been fortunate enough to be through, when I joined, I think Mel Less was the director, then Kenny Craig, now Dan. And I've seen it evolve and grow and a lot come out of it. So really, for any of you who have just joined or been involved and maybe wish you could get more out of it, put more into it, and I promise you'll get more out of it. But hopefully this will be very educational for you this morning. And please get involved and don't hesitate to ask questions, type in questions. And if we don't get to them in this session, please reach out to the team at the chamber, and if you're not comfortable asking in a big group, please ask them one-on-one. That's one of the things we're going to highlight. So with that, I think, Dan, what I was going to do is kind of go around and ask you a question. Then I was going to ask Jason a question just to kind of give everyone a little bit of time to get involved, if that works.
That sounds fine.
Okay. So, we talked, I guess the one thing I would ask to start out at asking Dan is, if someone asks, what does the chamber actually do? Give us your 30-second answer.
We get intimately involved with our members, whether it's a business or a nonprofit, and we do whatever we can to make them successful and achieve their goals. That's the short answer.
Well, of course, I was going to now just jump onto someone, but now you've kind of led me into a second question for you that I think just whether it's a business or a nonprofit, how do you think our chamber is different than other networking groups or trade associations?
I think the trade associations are very important. They're very, much more specific focus. I think that networking groups are also very beneficial. I would say the difference is that, the chamber has a lot more in-depth offerings, and, we get involved in advocacy, and we offer a lot of benefits, and, we help with business plans, and it's, we're kind of there for whatever a member needs. So it's it's just more services, I think.
That your answer, Dan, I think, like when you said you help with business plans, that's one of the things that I think small businesses don't know, especially if you're a small business. There are so many resources through the chamber, not only through the chamber directly, but I will tell you, my networking group through the chamber, I've learned so much from the people that I've met through the chamber that help me every day, especially in business, whether it's marketing, finance, human resources, but honestly, just in life, because there's so many good people that are willing to help. So that's another thing to really get. I mean, business plans, I bet most people didn't know that you could help with that. So that's fantastic.
If I could just jump in on that too, Ed, and a lot of the services that we offer are free of charge. Obviously we're a member organization, but in addition to their membership, things like getting business plan support and that type of thing, those are all free services and through partnerships. And you brought up something interesting. The chamber doesn't have all the answers, but we know who to go to get those answers. So it's whether it's a professional in that arena or one of our members. And I think that one of the things that we really focus on, which I'm sure we'll get into more later, is building those relationships and knowing how to connect people. If we understand your business and your goals and what you're trying to accomplish, then we can really identify who you need to connect with that's going to assist you in taking you forward.
You sound like me trying to answer a customer's mechanical question. I definitely don't know the answer, but I can find out or get to the right person. Okay, we'll move on. Jason, are you with us this morning?
Good morning, Ed.
How are you doing, buddy?
Doing okay.
Okay. So Jason is the Director of Membership and Engagement, if you don't know him. Jason, you've been with the Chamber 24 months?
It just came up on my 1 year in July.
Yeah. See, you're way ahead of schedule. I thought it was longer. Jason does a fantastic job getting people engaged in membership. If you haven't met him, please reach out to him. So Jason, can you tell everyone, who does the chamber serve?
That is a fantastic question because there's a lot of myths kind of built around that. The chamber serves literally everybody, from small businesses to large employers and corporations, nonprofits, schools, even arts organizations, because keep in mind, arts is a business. So we serve everybody.
And don't you, if I'm not mistaken, Jason, don't we even have some people who are just individual members, like just individuals? They don't have a business. They don't have anything. They're just a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. We do have some people who might be retired from their industry and they're looking to still stay involved. We also have people, I would say 35% of our members are not even in Hamilton. So we have people from Indiana, Cleveland, Kentucky, who are looking to stay connected with Hamilton as Hamilton grows. So we have a lot of different people joining for different reasons.
Fantastic. I guess one other thing while I still have you, at least to get this in, because I think this is very important. Can you highlight some of the member benefits?
Yeah. Again, because people join for different reasons. Sometimes it's for marketing help. A lot of people join for that visibility. I'll use an example. Maybe a restaurant has been all over the news that they're planning to close, and some locations might still be up and running. So they would utilize the chamber to get that crucial information out that they are open. A lot of people join for the discounted group rates for health insurance and workers' comp. Um, and even kind of going beyond what's listed on the page, we are known for helping put out fires, things that you don't really see on the front end. We are there to help support navigating challenges. We also, people that are our members that are listed on our website, they have a high SEO, search engine optimization, which Tiffany might kind of go into a little bit later, but they kind of get that boost of online visibility by being listed on our website and community guide.
Fantastic. Thank you. We'll circle back with some more from you in a little bit. We're going to move on to Laura, who is for the chamber. She's the IT coordinator. She's the one that kind of got us started this morning, and she's in charge of organizational support. One of the things, so, when we were preparing for this meeting, we were getting some talking points, and one of the things that I really didn't know, and so what's nice is it's educational, learn something new every day, and I did for the chamber was, Laura, if you can tell us kind of about the office space usage that's available.
Definitely. The chamber has beautiful office space. So if you ever have a meeting, we have some groups that'll do just a off-site retreat for the day. They want to get out of the office, be able to meet where there's just no distractions. We have different size meeting spaces. Our largest one, we can accommodate probably around 30. And then we've got a couple smaller rooms. We've got a smaller group. Anytime you have something that you need to, if you're traveling around, maybe you're someone who works more remotely and you're traveling around to different areas, the office is open. Please stop by, give us a call ahead of time just to double check and make sure we don't have the room reserved. But anytime you need office space, ours is available.
And is that a paid or rented for time, or is that part of a member benefit?
That's part of a member benefit, so no cost.
Okay, fantastic. The other thing, Laura, is what other resources does the chamber offer that can help businesses develop and grow?
We have a variety of different things. We have partnered with the Lonely Entrepreneur. That is an online platform. They have, at this point, several thousand different modules that you can work through. You need to contact us at the chamber. Dan is your main contact here, and chat with him, and then he will get you connected with the Lonely Entrepreneur. We have a partnership with the Hamilton Community Foundation to offer some of these licenses at no charge. Normally there is a fee for that, but currently we're able to use some money that we've got some funding for and offer those at no charge. Those have modules about anything and everything you can think about business. Is it about marketing? Is it about sales? Is it about financial things? Literally thousands of different modules, and you just watch them. There's also team groups that you can form with. So if you've got a certain industry or a certain question, those groups work together to chat and just bounce ideas off of each other. So that's all a free resource. And we also work with SBDCs, so our Small Business Development Center in Hamilton County, and all of their services are also free. So if you're getting started and you're like, okay, I don't have a business plan, I'm trying to figure out how to get all this formulated, how do I calculate if I'm going to have enough income to cover my expenses, the SBDC is there to help with all these questions, and they can also connect you with different industries to mentor.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to have a little quick conversation, some questions for Nancy, who is the Director of Events and Director of Leadership Hamilton. Leadership Hamilton, if you're not familiar with it, I was fortunate enough to go through the class in 2001 and 2002. She'll tell us a little bit about that. And it is, if you're not involved with that or you've never been a part of it, as a person who was a lifelong Hamiltonian and thought they knew everything about Hamilton, that class 25 years ago was so educational for me and fantastic that we've sent other team members through there. So, Nancy, if you can tell us a little bit about Leadership Hamilton.
Sure. Leadership Hamilton is a 9-month community education program, basically. We spend September through May, 1 day a month. About 25 people are selected each year to participate. And we cover topics, education, criminal justice, human services, economic development and industry. And the goal is to have people learn more about the community, where our strengths are, where there might be weaknesses, or where their interests lie. And we'd like the people who are graduates of leadership to get involved in the community, whether that's volunteering, being a board member, running for city council, anything like that. It's kind of to get them engaged in the community. And the other important thing that comes out of it is the relationships they form with their classmates. These are important, both business and professional, or I mean, business and personal, I should say. Some people make lifelong friends, very good personal friends out of this, as well as great business associates that they can call on in the future for any business needs. So it's been a great program. It's in its 34th year. So it's obviously going strong still. And each year we are filling the class and getting people engaged. So another thing too, to let you know, like sometimes some great partnerships form out of it. We had a few years ago someone from ThyssenKrupp-Bilstein who was in the class, and we had visited Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and they learned about a program about employing people with developmental disabilities. So he took it back to Bilstein, and they actually now have a program in place where they have folks with developmental disabilities that they hire to work at great paying jobs, and they've actually been awarded, I know, at the state level, and I think Dan said they might have even gotten a commendation from the president regarding this. So these are great connections that people are making in the community.
Nancy, if I could interrupt for just a second, there is a question. Is there a cost for Leadership Hamilton? Yes, there is. And there are some limited scholarships available from time to time.
Yes. Thank you, Dan, for seeing the questions. Yes. And there is more information on our website about the tuition, about information. And also, you're always welcome to reach out to me. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. And we do start recruiting probably April, May timeframe with an application deadline in June. Then we let people know in July for the beginning of the September program.
And while we're looking at comments, sorry, Ed, there's
You're
also a
fine.
comment from Terry Purdue, if everybody didn't see it. And we do get involved sometimes in social issues and social awareness, like food insecurity and things like that, and using our, marketing strategies and visibility to create awareness.
Thank you. And I'd like to touch base with, go back to Leadership Hamilton. Nancy said, lifelong connections. That is so definitely true with our group, but also just some of the educational things. I just remember traveling around Hamilton. The one thing I didn't know is that Hamilton is one of the few communities that is in charge of and controls all 4 utilities, which Hamilton's budget compared to, because of that, that's such a big thing that, that we handle our own electricity, our own water and sewer, our own gas, that our budget is so much higher than some of the other communities around. Like, again, I know the time, I want to say that our operating budget for the city of Hamilton was probably 3 to 4 times that of like Middletown, just because of us controlling our own utilities. Is that correct, Nancy? Still?
Yeah, I don't know that we've covered that in the last few years, but yeah.
Okay, that's a very, very good thing. But again, lifelong relationships with your class members. Mine, obviously, our first day was September 11th, 2001. So 9/11, we kind of still have a connection with our group. Nancy, we'll if you could just highlight some of maybe the signature events that we do each year, and then talk about. I take for granted I'm familiar with all of those, but some people might not be, and you can get involved all kinds of different ways. You can get involved by participating, be a member. You can volunteer. You can sponsor. There's just all kinds of different ways.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Eddie. We have kind of four signature events for the year. The first one is coming up actually in a couple weeks, our annual meeting, which is a huge event we have at Spooky Nook the last few years, and that's where it's going to be this year. And it's kind of one of those events where you go, all the movers and shakers are there. We have about 450 to 500 people in attendance. It's great networking. If you want to meet someone, that's the place to do it. We have great networking time, and then we also do have a program during which we present our Citizen of the Year award as well as our Small Business Person of the Year award. So that is always an exciting event to be a part of. Then we also have our golf outing, which is just as it says, it's a golf outing. It's a fun opportunity for you to perhaps get out, meet some people, take a client on the course, or reward some of your staff and treat them to a day on the golf course. But that's always a fun event that always sells out each year. Then we have Hamilpalooza, which is a big vendor fair at Markham Park in the streets around Markham Park downtown. And we have about 150 plus vendors, food trucks, we have bands, we have a petting farm. It's a very family friendly community engagement event. So we typically have maybe 7,000 people who come through the event each year. So it's a lot of fun. And then we have our steak fry, which we do jointly with the Middletown, Monroe, and Trenton Chamber. And that is basically just a very casual networking event. We have great food, lots of Molson Coors product to enjoy, and just casual time to network. And we've had the last couple of years at Land of Illusion. So it also has included some of the fright houses at Land of Illusion for those who want to partake in that. And it's just, I said, a very laid back, casual atmosphere. And those are kind of our four signature events. We have other ones throughout the year too. Other events like our State of the City event is always very popular. We have a Groundhog Economic Outlook breakfast and other things like State of the Schools luncheons. So,
on any of those events, whether it's even just, it doesn't have to be a signature event, it could be any of the others. I have been to all the signature events, and they are, as Nancy described, even if you're not a good golfer like myself, you still have fun at the golf outing. And it's very low pressure, great way to network and just have fun and get to know people, quite frankly. So thanks, Nancy. We're going to move on to Tiffany. Tiffany is the director of marketing, and she helps people, marketing, visibility, business growth. Tiffany, if you could tell us, how does the chamber help members get more visibility in the community?
Yeah. So the chamber is kind of the central hub for business visibility in our region. We connect members to other businesses, community leaders, things on here, local government, and residents through events, referrals, promotions, and then storytelling. The more we know about you and your business, the more we can help connect you to the right people in other businesses. So Jason says this, to new members all the time. When something's going on in your business, let us know, good or bad. Then we can help you in whichever we need to pivot that.
Okay, so if you have someone, so educate us, Tiffany, if you're not someone who's necessarily into marketing, what marketing tools and platforms do people or members overlook that they're maybe missing?
Yeah, so with your chamber membership, there are some tools and platforms that you can use. The biggest one being, every member has their own page on our website. With that, you get to fill out and link your social media platforms, put a business description in, but also putting keywords on the back end. Jason mentioned SEO, search engine optimization. Ours is extremely high. So as a member, you get to kind of ride our wave of our SEO. So a lot of times when someone Googles a business, if they're a member of the chamber, your page on our site pops up even before your own website. I know ThyssenKrupp, they're a global company, but their Hamilton chamber page pops up even before their Hamilton website. So using that and making sure that you have your keywords in and your back office online directory listing populated is huge for visibility. We get over 300,000 visits to our website every year. So the more you can pop up when someone's searching, the more visible you are. So if you've not done a one-on-one to complete your back office, connect with, me, Jason, or Laura, and we can help you do that. Also opportunities, to be featured at events through, sponsorship. Ribbon cuttings are a big one. We get huge visibility on ribbon cuttings, and that doesn't just need to be when someone is opening. That can be to celebrate an anniversary, an expansion. So there are creative ways to be spotlighted through the chamber for those things as well. Also tagging the chamber in your social media posts. Like we can't reshare everything just because then our algorithm would tank. But if there's, something special that's happening, or you're having an event, or there's really a message that you want to get out, connect with me or tag us in that post, and we can reshare. We have on Facebook alone, we have almost 12,000 followers, but had 3.6 million views on Facebook in 2025. So our reach is incredible. I was looking at, I don't know if you guys saw our awkward family photos that we did on Friday last week and posted. We were challenged by Inspiration Studios and the Hamilton Community Foundation. And I think we're at over 65,000 views on just that post alone. But what was really interesting was that 80% of those views were not following the chamber page. So that was kind of incredible to me that we had that big of reach for non-followers on that post. And then one other last thing I would say for marketing tools or platforms is, sharing business updates, milestones, or promotions, with the team. When you actively engage with us, we can help you that much more.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tiffany. See, I just learned something new. I know we've done some stuff, but I'm going to go back and look at our own member page and make sure we're maximizing that. And just thinking, for everyone out there, just if it's, don't think it's too big or too small, please call the chamber and see which ways they can possibly help you. That's so important.
Yeah. And I just would add to, like, if you're struggling, with social media or anything like that, we can always do a quick call to give you some ideas and some different things to try too. So if your social media is crazy, it's always evolving and changing. So if you're stuck in that area, let us know and we can help you brainstorm some ideas.
Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to touch base with Jeff Archibald. He's the communication strategist, and you've maybe seen Jeff or know Jeff throughout the community. Does a fantastic job of connecting Greater Hamilton specifically with all of the local news networks and outlets in all kinds of different ways. But I guess one way, Jeff, I've known all the things you do for really the city. But if you can tell all the members what can you help do for each individual member throughout the chamber?
Yeah, so really anything I'm looking to do is make Hamilton look like a great place to live, work, and play. And one of the key things that we look for in that is what is going to make someone want to come to Hamilton? What's going to make them drive in from outside? What's going to want to make them live here? And those things are usually things that are fun to do, whether it's a new restaurant, new hotspot, or something as simple as playing some pinball or painting some pottery. Each business does not operate in a vacuum. I think sometimes businesses think, okay, I'm my own individual identity. But we find over and over again that people who drive in to come to one business will then go to a second, third, fourth, or fifth. So everything that I kind of try and do is look for anything that is an interesting business, interesting organization, nonprofit that will get people into Hamilton. And then from there, kind of go to 5 or 6 more. So the things I look for are what's something unique, what's something different, what's something that's going to make someone see it on social media and go, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of fascinating. So I'm always kind of looking for something unique, something different. And, if you're a business that has something that is unique or a little bit different, those are things that I would like to know about.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So that's our once around for the first time, and I'm going to circle back with Dan, but I wanted to take a break and see, or at least address any questions that might be out there. Dan, are there any others?
I don't see any in the chat, but if anybody has a
Okay.
question, now's the time.
Anybody have any questions currently? It is Coffee
We
and
do.
Conversations.
We have a question
Great.
at how it works. So we are right on the border. So we are 747 Tylersville, right there by Clubhouse. We do not belong to any chambers yet. Is this an option for us? We're just both, well, I'm the owner, the studio manager is Monica. She lives in Hamilton. And we're big lovers of Hamilton in general. So we were just curious if that is an option.
I will answer that. Of course, it's an option. As Jason mentioned, 35% of our members are not physically in Hamilton to begin with. And we really look at, what does your market footprint look like? And, what geographic footprint are you trying to capture? So if Hamilton's part of that, then, we certainly think that we could be beneficial to helping you achieve your goals. My suggestion with that would be is set up an appointment with one of us, Tiffany, Jason, or myself or whatever, and just kind of talk about what you're trying to accomplish. And we can give you a really specific strategy to, your business and your goals. And that might include recommending that you get involved with other chambers as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That was something else that jumped out too, was just your guys' ability to kind of guide in how to utilize the chamber for actual growth. So that was really appealing too. Okay, we'll reach out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and I'll even piggyback on that. I'm at my house now. I'm literally 5 minutes from where your location is. So I think there's a lot of people that might be members of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce that actually live close to where you are. I've lived in Liberty Township since '94. So yeah, I think it's a great resource. And quite frankly, for the first, I don't know, probably the first 20 years of me being a part of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, Hamilton's exposure wasn't what it is now, that's for sure. So yeah, I think it'd be a great resource for you. Okay, if that's all the questions, did I see another question come up from Shared Harvest, maybe Dan in the chat?
No, that was just a compliment, actually.
Okay, not a problem. Well, fantastic. Let's okay, Dan, we're back to you. This is kind of going to be a fun one. What is the most ambitious project the Chamber is tackling this year, and why does it matter for the members of Hamilton, for the members of the Chamber?
Okay, first of all, there's several things we're working on that we're always working on things way in advance. So we may be working on things that aren't going to come to fruition for 3 years that we can't talk about. But the one thing we can talk about, which you've probably heard about unless you've been living under a rock, is AmHub and Miami University transitioning to being polytechnic centers. This is a huge transition for Miami University, that their curriculum is going to be more focused on industry, careers, and specific pathways for students. But then you have AmHub, which is, if people call it the Advanced Manufacturing Hub, it's actually beyond advanced. AmHub is going to be creating the manufacturing direction processes of the future. And that is at the former Champion Mill headquarters. They opened in January. The ribbon cutting is February 2nd. Everyone's invited. There's already about 300 people coming to that ribbon cutting. But AmHub is, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but there's similar things in the country. There is nothing in the country that is just like it. It is a partnership between Miami University and Butler Tech. and it's a blending of curriculums. It's a blending of college students with high school students, and it's a blending of college professors teaching classes with high school teachers. It is supported by industry. So, GE, P&G, ThyssenKrupp, you name it, that's who's really driving this forward. So it's industry driving education to meet the future needs of those industries. So the reason it's exciting to us is because we are physically there. And we will have an office space there to do within those four walls what we do every day, which is connections, networking, who needs to meet whom, how can we connect education and industry and business, more effectively. And, we're very, very excited because I think that this is going to be the single thing that has the most impact on Hamilton, probably within the next 2 years. The the other model of this is they have hired a consultant that will actually be recruiting students from around the state of Ohio to finish their education in Hamilton at AmHub, which would give them a direct line into Miami University if they want to take that forward to engineering programs and things like that. So it will benefit all of the manufacturing industry in a huge way. Polytechnic will really drive forward careers in the medical field. But the thing that's exciting is Miami is investing with Butler Tech millions of dollars into this project, and it's actually also going to physically change that campus. So within the next 2 years, they're going to be building student housing on the campus, which the conversations, I can't get into detail, will begin to drive economic development along the riverfront as Miami is working with the city on how they better, connect their campus to projects that are coming in the future that I can't talk about to actually be developed on the riverfront. So this is, and that's on the one end. On the back end, then you talk about the Benioff Woolen Mill opening hopefully within about a year, which is market rate apartments, which will be kind of the opposite end of where the riverfront development is. So now you have a catalyst project that is bringing another whole section of Hamilton to life, and there will be opportunities for coffee shops and bakeries and things like that as part of that development. So it's really huge, and we couldn't be more thrilled and honored to be part of that project. Very long answer, sorry, but it's pretty exciting things going on.
Well, it was an open-ended, and I think it's great to talk about AmHub. But one of the things I wanted to touch base with that you brought up, and as you were answering, I really got to thinking of it. So I'm involved in other chambers, but I will tell you what's so different about the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. And it's been that way, I think, for a long time, but really in the last 10 years is just the connection and the collaboration that the chamber, most people just think the chamber is just a business thing that businesses do. Well, the chamber is so involved in all of the education system. It is involved and collaborates, on the executive committee. We have the mayor, we have the superintendent of Hamilton High School. We've had people from Butler Tech. We've had people from Baden High School. So all the educational systems, the local government, whether it be the city and or the county, there is just such a good synergy along with the chamber, and they all see the chamber as a good partner versus someone that they're competing with, which in other communities, that collaboration and synergy does not exist. I can tell you for a fact I've seen it, and that's what really I think promotes the benefits and makes Hamilton so valuable.
If I could just chime in on that, Ed, and I know I think Tim's still on here as a member of City Council. We are, I think it does make us unique. We are so thrilled to have the relationship with the city and all of our elected officials that we have. Basically, we are a phone call away on their cell phone from any of them. And, we work very closely with the city. We actually meet with the city on a regular basis. in kind of non-notes taking meetings to really flush out the things that haven't come forward yet. And I don't take that lightly. And I really appreciate that ongoing collaboration and relationship with the city, because it's not only is it important to the chamber, it's important to business, because we also know how to solve a problem. We know who to go to, at the city. And sometimes somebody doesn't understand a particular thing the city is telling them or whatever. We can either help with that, or we have the relationship. We reach out to the city and say, so what's the problem here? What do they really need to do to fix it? And really kind of negotiate and begin to work through some of those challenges.
Fantastic. Just a side note, if you are on the chamber board, one of your requirements is to attend at least one city council a year, whether in person or on Zoom. So that shows you how much they want you involved in the local government and local actions going on in town besides just business. Okay, Dan, what does a typical work week look like for the chamber team?
I laugh because there isn't one. Like any organization or business, we all have our, kind of like big goals and ideas that we need to accomplish. The staff here, I think the biggest thing that helps drive this chamber forward is we have a very seasoned, experienced staff, and most of them have background in other areas just besides the chamber. So everybody has a wealth of information, and I say that because they work pretty autonomously within their own areas. However, we are also pride ourselves on our responsiveness. So regardless of what we think we're going to be doing in a particular week or a particular day, sometimes that changes dramatically. We get a phone call from a chamber member who needs a connection, has a problem, whatever, or a lot of times somebody will just stop by. It happens many times if we're in our staff meeting. Somebody will stop by and say, I don't have an appointment, but I need to talk to somebody. We drop whatever we're doing, as much as possible and address that need. So typical week at the chamber. We all work very closely together. We all love what we do. And I think everybody in Hamilton has all of our cell phones. So even though we're kind of a 9 to 5 organization in perception, we're really not. Our people don't abuse it. So we encourage people to, if something happens on a weekend that you really need to address, reach out to one of us, call me, text me, whatever. There's probably 800 people that have my cell phone number minimum. Because sometimes something can be answered very quickly and easily. Sometimes it's like, I can't really handle that right now because I don't have the resources. I'm going to have to follow up with somebody else and I'll get back to you. But so typical work week is, enthusiastic and fun and challenging. And, we might be working on what has to happen that week and the next week. And if we're, planning an event with Nancy, we might be working, 4 or 5 months out on any given week. But I think we also have events that are popping up, which pretty much all of us go to all of our events. So it's not like you just see one of us at events, especially our signature events. We're all there. We're all on deck. And when we do those events, we encourage members that if you want to meet somebody that is at that meeting, grab one of us and we will actually do that introduction for you so that you don't have to just kind of walk up and tap somebody on the shoulder that you've never met before. So all of that being said, we're working on advocacy. We're working on things that are happening in education. We're talking about property tax reform. We're doing all this, and all that comes to a screeching.
Hey, how are you?
Everything comes to a screeching halt and put on hold if a member has an issue.
Fantastic. Thank you. Jason, we're going to go back to you. And how can a new member get value within the first 30 days?
First 30 days. That is a great question, Ed. The first thing that comes to mind is booking a one-on-one. A lot of people do not do this, and then their whole membership it's kind of playing catch up. So the first thing that I would say is booking a one-on-one with one of us to talk about your challenges, talk about your goals, They may change. There might be other members that are experiencing the same challenges as well. The next thing, and sometimes in that same discovery meeting, we navigate and develop the members' back office, which you'll hear us talk about quite a bit. Basically, that's the back end of your page that's listed on our website. As Tiffany was talking about, you've got your social media, all of those things, your bio, everything about your company that encourages people to want to click on your website, on your links. So one-on-one meeting, navigating and developing your back office. And something that I didn't list earlier, attending networking. A lot of people think, okay, I just joined the chamber, all systems go, and then they don't really engage. But coming to networking is so important for your brand. The more that people recognize your face, the more they associate to your brand, the more they feel comfortable in connecting with you, collaborating. I'm sorry. And recommending you and referring you. So I would say those are the first 3 things that you can do within the first 30 days is one-on-one meeting, back office, and then attending networkings or jumping on a coffee and conversation like this morning.
There you go. What would you what's some membership benefits that are underused?
Yes. First thing that comes to mind is support groups. The Chamber has spearheaded support groups for various industries such as HMA, which is the Hamilton Merchants Association, all of the retail shops in the area. HaHa, Hamilton Amusement and Hospitality Association, so restaurants and hotels. Those groups meet and they talk about various challenges, whether it be staffing, it could be any challenges that we can kind of come up with troubleshooting and coming up with answers in that moment. Oftentimes people attend those meetings because they never know what's going on in Hamilton, and in these meetings, this is where we talk about what's going on. So in your industry, if there is something, if you would like a support group to be put together, we can help spearhead that. I would say the discounted group rate health insurance and workers' comp, a lot of people do not know that we offer this. And there are some members who only joined for that discounted group rate health insurance and workers' comp, and I don't see them any other time except for when it's time to renew, and that's all they want is that discount. Utilizing us to be a launching pad, booking a meeting with any of us, like Tiffany said, marketing ideas, Nancy for any events, sponsorship, Leadership Hamilton. That's actually how I got connected with the chamber, was Leadership Hamilton. And then I will also circle back and bring back networking. Networking is a very underused benefit that we offer through the chamber. John Rhodes did a great coffee and conversation on networking and really talked about the top 10 steps to be an effective networker. So I would say those are probably the most underused benefits. Even though our networking events, we typically see anywhere from 30 to 60 attendees. There are so many members who don't go to them. And keep in mind, if you can't go to a networking event, you can definitely send one of your team members as a representative. So it doesn't always have to be you, right?
If I could just chime in here, Ed, Jason mentioned, support groups, as he calls them. We also have a manufacturers focus group, which is for manufacturers only, meets quarterly, and that's a robust discussion and education for anything manufacturing. And we also are the ones who spearheaded the arts group, which now is in full swing. And we are working on right now starting a contractors group. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a monthly or bi-monthly discussion on, whether you're a roofer or home builder or whatever, discussions that, apply directly to your industry.
Thanks, Dan. Fantastic.
Hey, Ed, I'd like to jump in here for just a second also.
Sure.
On the cost saving benefits, the Bureau of Workers' Comp, everyone needs workers' comp insurance. If you have employees, we have businesses that save between hundreds of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars on their workers' comp because we have a group rated program. It is free to ask for a quote. We can connect you with Julia Bulling at Sedgwick and get a free quote to see if that would be something that might benefit your business.
If I could just chime in on that, because that is can be very beneficial to most businesses. Workers' comp in Ohio is not privatized as it is in many states. It is run by the state, and there are discounts that you can earn, but you can only earn those discounts through a chamber or a trade organization. So, and if you belong to more than one, you can actually earn double discounts. So, for instance, if you're part of a chamber, you can get, win up to a 2% discount on your workers' comp rates. If you belong to a chamber and a safety council, you can get a 2% reduction for them also. So, and like Laura said, it can be hundreds or thousands. We have, large businesses that join the chamber, for their membership, which, if they're a larger business, their membership could, have a comma in it. Maybe their membership is $1,500, $1,200, whatever. But if they're saving, $7, $10, $15,000 a year with that discount rate, it certainly pays for their membership.
Yeah, we were able to save a little bit this year through Sedgwick, and I know there's some other larger companies that I had talked to that they were able to help them quite a bit. So that's a great thing. Nancy, why don't because Jason talked some about events and some. Why don't you tell us maybe some of the benefits of being an event sponsor and event marketing?
Sure. Most of that, especially for the signature events, comes well in advance of the actual event. We do a lot of publicity. Sometimes with things like Hamapalooza, we do marketing through online with Cox First Media, as well as print ads in papers, that sort of thing. Lots of social media presence. We get that out to so many people in advance. So that's where the sponsorship really gets its value. And then, of course, at an event itself, your name logo is in many places being displayed. So, but a lot of it comes and people don't realize it's all the advance work coming up to an event is where the sponsorship really pays off. And it depends, we have levels of sponsorship that are, anywhere from, $300 to 5,000 plus dollars. So there's levels all throughout that area. So, but it's always a good way to get your name out in front of a lot of people.
Great, thank you. Laura, with IT, can you maybe, how is the chamber helping people with technology and AI?
That is a great question, Ed. Our chamber is totally focused on keeping up on the latest technologies. AI is probably the newest thing that's out. We have found it to be an incredible tool for ourselves. So time saving, but there's also a lot of things about something like AI that you need to know before you start using it. So we hold different workshops, different things to educate members about these different topics. So keep an eye out on the chamber calendar for any of these things as they pop up. Most of them are free, maybe a small cost every now and again, but the value you get from these things is exponential and can be, if it's things that can save you time in your day, there's things as a business owner or what you're doing at your job that you need to do it. You need to have that special touch, but you could use AI to help expedite the process and make things go so much quicker.
Laura, if you could just touch on, our relationship, our long-term relationship with Microsoft Direct, and, our understanding of what technology looks like in the future. And, that we ourselves are, a cloud-based paperless organization. I think that would be interesting to people.
Well, I will elaborate on that a little extra then. Yes, we are cloud-based. When COVID hit, we all just walked home. There was no downtime at all because we can go anywhere and we can connect to our system at any point in time. I have total access to everything on my system. I can literally be anywhere with an internet connection. We're partnering with Microsoft, so we are direct with them. I've talked with some very, very important people at the Microsoft office. They're probably the smartest people I'll ever talk to. And it's amazing the technology that businesses can utilize and the partnerships that we've created through some of that. It's been a game changer for us. Anything else, Dan?
No, just that, I think people would be surprised if they renew our understanding of where technology is going in the future. So if you are looking at, you know, purchasing new technology or whatever, you know, we can certainly give you an understanding of what it's going to look like 2 years from now. So if you think generative AI is where you know the finish line, think again. The next wave is way beyond what you have now, and you know, we can help you understand the difference between, you know, having a mainframe based or cloud based organization, and how that may benefit you, and how, you know, it actually can create the ultimate security. You know, we are on 2 different clouds that change locations every 60 seconds. So your information is very safe and secure with us. We don't really worry about viruses and things like that because they are automatically zapped by our system before they get to us. So most chambers, I think, are not as advanced in the knowledge of where technology is going as we are. And really that's, again, because of another partnership that we have.
All right, so that partnership, that is with Bass International Software, and he is a Microsoft partner, so he brings back to us where everything's going. He's in meetings with people from all over the world constantly. He's going to meetings with Microsoft, so he brings back all that information to us. Super exciting to be on the cutting edge of all of that. And then also, can we go back? There was one question in the chat that I do not think we had a chance to articulate. Lisa Sizemore, she asked, is the Hamilton Chamber part of EOS or have business that are part of EOS? I don't know if you can elaborate on that for us, Lisa, or if anybody.
I think we missed a few questions. I didn't scroll.
Yeah. And then we'll go back to Lisa, and then Shared Harvest Food Bank. They're located in Fairfield, offer services in Hamilton. The relationship is definitely worth it. Greater Hamilton area service. And then Keisha, I've got her, she just emailed me, so we've got that taken care of. Do we have a group for nonprofit leaders? It's not something that we have covered or considered. Laurie says, thank you. This is very informative meeting about the chamber benefits. I hope to hop on another meeting, so she wishes us all the best. Felix had to jump off, but he said the chamber does a great job. I look forward to exploring more opportunities.
If I could just address the nonprofit group. We have not done that, although we've talked about it many times. And there are other organizations that we think should take that lead. I do know the Community Foundation does have training and things for nonprofit leadership. But we have talked about, is there a need, desire, whatever, to do kind of a monthly or, you know, quarterly nonprofit roundtable or something where people, so I'm going to reach that question back out and say, you know, what do you think would be the benefit of that? And do you think it's something that we should pursue? So I think Rose asked that question.
Yes, that was Rose.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I was just, with the amount of nonprofits that we do have in the community, a lot of times folks aren't aware of the different services and such that are available to them. And I think nonprofits have their own struggles, challenges, that being in the same room with other leaders, I think that would be really beneficial, not only for the individuals that work at the nonprofits, but for the community at large.
Okay, we're going to take that into consideration, Rose. Thanks.
Lisa, can you elaborate more on your question?
Sorry about that. I was working through here. Yes, I was just wondering if some of the businesses that are partnering with the chamber are part of the EOS system. It's the entrepreneurial operating system, where it streamlines basically, you know, businesses and things like that, their network and operational systems. We are part of EOS, so that's something that, you know, I'm sure Bachman's would be interested as far as that aspect goes in with the chamber as well.
So we have not. So maybe that's a conversation we should have.
All right,
And
sounds
actually,
good.
I'm glad you're bringing that up because one of the things that I'm not sure it's come out in the discussion so far. Um, we get so many ideas from our members, and there are many times that we will take a direction on something because a member brings it forward, or even events like the ornament crawl and something like that. That was a member idea, a friend that they did in California. So now we've been doing it now for what, Tiffany? I don't know, 4 or 5 years or more now. So that's something that, we are involved with some things where nonprofits can get discounts on technology and, that type of thing. But I'd like to find out more about, how we could get involved with that. So maybe we should have a conversation about that.
Yes, I'd like that. Anytime you can definitely contact, we'll set up a meeting and we can go over that.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Okay, unfortunately, I think we're already at about 6 after 10. And I think it was a great conversation. Thank everyone for tuning in. I think what Laura meant to say when she had talked to the people at Microsoft that they were the smartest people she had talked to, she meant to say, except for this group on coffee and conversations.
Correct, Ed.
That's what I thought. And then hopefully, if you're still on, please send questions to the staff at the chamber. And again, the biggest thing that I think you need to take away from this is you need to get involved with the chamber. The chamber has so many opportunities for you as a member, and they'll open plenty of doors, but it's up to you to knock on the door and walk through and really get involved. And I promise you, it will be worth your time and worth your money to get involved with the chamber. You'll get more out of it than the cost associated with it. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to help do this again sometime. I thought it was great, very informative for me, and I hope it was very informative for others. I don't know if anybody from the chamber has anything to say.
Just thank you all for joining us today. So, we love to have these conversations. We took some notes too, so we learned some things. Hopefully, you'll learn some things from us.
Great.
Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Everyone.